We found out live from the Fanatic. We are me and B Souls are actually at the Fanatics event.
Yeah,
Like, we're just in our rooms.
that's me right there. Wait, he announced this live at the Fanatic show? Whoa! Team number 7. Woohoo! This is nuts. You don't look happy. Am I tripping?
We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see what happens, man. We're gonna see.
We'll see what happens, but I'm excited. Great young core, great coach. I think KD would be a great fit there. A lot going on right now.
Analyze the body language, the face.
Yeah, let's really analyze this. Nonchalantness. Or is he just acting because Taylor Rooks is right there? You can't act crazy. Yeah, you can't act crazy with the hose around. You know what I'm saying? Gotta, yeah. You know, it's me, K Dizzle, Slim Reaper. You know, I'm slim everywhere but in one spot type shit. Like,
I don't know. We'll break down how he feels about this in a second. But the news that you could not use, we do have this trade coming straight from the jungle. Breaking news, Shams report, Shams bomb. Can we say that? Where's he from? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Stop, bro. Stop.
Wait a minute.
Ain't it a
he's from
Chamber alert? Yeah, it's a Chamber alert.
He's from Chicago, so you can say that. You can say that. We know he's not from Chicago. Let me see where that last name is from.
Shocker.
Pakistani and India. He's Indian. We're good. Breaking news. The Phoenix Suns are trading 2-time NBA Finals. They be clinging on to anything, don't they? In these reports. McDonald's All-American.
4-time DPOY Dwight Howard has signed with. All right, man.
Phoenix Suns are trading 2-time NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th pick in this draft, and 5 second-round picks. 5 second-round picks. 5 second-round picks. Dang, I feel like we've done this for KD before. I feel like we've done this for KD before.
I don't even know who got whose pick. It's just like a big swingers party at this point.
Is that my sock? Is that my sock? Is a gold toe? When you look at this, is that a red bar? Is that a gold? Off initial reactions, let me tell y'all about these players and the seasons that they had last year. First and foremost, Kevin Durant, 36 years old, will be 37 going into the 25-26 season. God. He finished the regular season back in April 11th. Last season, 27 points. Still shot 53% from the field, 43% from three. Still KDZ, man. What is that? 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a block a game. Season before that, he finished 9th in MVP voting at 35 years old. Only played 62 games, though, last season. Still K Disney. Still K Disney. Still one of them oneers. Jalen Green, young superstar. God, Dre is going to break up with him now. Phoenix not too far from him. Phoenix not too far. 21-5, 3 assists on 42% from the field, 35 from 3, 81 from the free throw line. Dylan Brooks, do we give a fuck? 14 4, 2 assists, 43 from the field, 40 from the 3, 82 from the free throw line. Off the initial, and I know some Houston fans still were wearing the rose-tinted glasses on Jalen. It had to be one of the young guys. Jalen, my nigga, I hate it had to be him. I mean, what were your thoughts, B-Souls? Initial thoughts?
I'm going to be honest. Maybe, you know, I hope this isn't vanilla. But, no, I'm kidding. You know, when a guy like KD gets traded, I'm typically like, oh, no way he got traded. At this point, it's just like, oh, okay. It's that time of the year again. After he got traded to Brooklyn, that was the last time I was like, oh my God, this is where KD's playing now? This time it's like, all right, okay, cool. Like, I'm interested. Don't get me wrong. I'm interested, but it's like, for a guy like KD, I should be more excited. But he's been traded and moved around too much, man. I'm not too excited. For the Rockets, not the Rockets. For the Suns, though, hey, man, you gotta work with what you have. You know, you already, this is a sign that they've acknowledged that they have fucked up with the Devin Booker, Chris Paul, KD era of things. And it's a situation where they just have to acknowledge the situation, the fucked up situation that they are now in, and you have to move with the pieces that you got. And with the lack of draft capital that they have, with, you know, the KD D-Book duo peaking already as it is, it didn't seem like they could make any short-term moves that could really maximize that championship window. It is time to get some draft assets. It is time to get some young guys in there, and bank on a guy that everyone's sleeping on to become your next franchise player. Now, is that Jalen Green? We'll fuck around and find out. And we'll see if Jalen Green is the next Kobe or if he's just Monte Ellis.
I did not want to start with the Suns, but boy, oh boy, I really wanted to talk about the Suns. I think if he was a little bit more likable, people would be screaming and pleading for Devin Booker to say something. And I think a lot of people are turning that tide. Man, Phoenix does not. 2 guards? 3 2 guards, and none of them can really play point. God, and mind you, maybe that means there's another play coming, and I pray and I hope that it deals with Devin Booker finally getting on somebody's team to solidify, you know, what they got going on. Phoenix is looking worse and worse and worse. Let me go a little slower. And worse by the day.
Yeah.
I understand making a mistake. They aren't even trying to, in my opinion, do a decent thing to like correct the mistake, if that makes sense. I'm looking at their roster right now. We don't even have a bunch of like young assets at a bunch of different positions and stuff like that to really make this make sense. They just keep getting bites at the same apples. Yeah, I do see the breaking news from Cardiac in the chat. The Suns will look to reroute Jalen Green to another team. Has to be, because this is the roster that they went into last year. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guards on a 15-man roster.
What the fuck?
And then you add you add a Jalen Green to that. You add a Dylan Brooks to that, who, what is he, 6'6" as well? Yeah. It's time to completely redo this. Please, I actually prefer if they reroute Devin Booker and just let him go.
They got to reroute both. Because what is D-Book going to do? Nothing. I don't get this idea of trying to retool around D-Book
at this point in time, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, we've already seen D-Book, first option D-Book, and that's just not it. Second option D-Book is fine, but the way they went about it was just so ass. And Devin Booker, let me see his age. He's 28. 28, about to be 29 by the end of this next season. So he's not one of these young franchise cornerstones anymore. He's closer to 30 than 25.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's time. It truly is time. They should try to finesse one of these, other teams, these lower and suspecting teams. I'm surprised, different play style or whatever, especially with what happened with Desmond Bane. They probably should have made it known that he was available and tried to work something out there with the Magic or whatever, since they were, selling for that 2-guard position. But ultimately, it is what it is. To the Kevin Durant side of things, though, I don't think that the Rockets were really where he wanted to go. I don't think that the Rockets were really where Kevin Durant wanted to go, especially when we talk about the top of his list. I think that the Rockets are definitely where Kevin Durant needs to be. I'm not going to lie. To me, I don't want to say title favorites.
The Rockets?
The Rockets. Going into next season, I'm probably going to have to stamp it.
What's the 8-man rotation looking like after this trade?
Let me say this first. Already with their current roster, finished top 2 in a Western Conference, right? In the Western Conference. If we look at the total grand scheme of things, we would have had OKC 1, Cleveland 2, Boston 3. They would have been the 4th best team record-wise, or they are the 4th best team record-wise if you look at the totality of the league. And then with a year's worth of playoff experience after losing to like the Warriors in 7 or whatever the case may be, putting an experienced Kevin Durant on your team, putting somebody who's been there before, somebody who has made a lot of success or had a lot of success despite what some of the other guys think, on the internet, some of the older guys think. I think that he is somebody who will be able to definitely put them over the edge against some of these teams they should not be losing to. I'm learning in real time, something that we all have been known, but sometimes having an adult in the room, a real adult in the room, yeah, sometimes having a real adult in the room is actually beneficial. I'm looking at, Fred VanVleet. This is where it gets ugly. I know you asked this question. I'm looking at VanVleet. I'm looking at Sengun. KD.
Amen. Right.
Amen. We're going to pray on it. We can afford to put him in out there now, especially because we've seen him working in the offseason. I don't give a damn about that spot. Some people are saying Jabari. I don't know if Kevin Durant is like at this age can do the 3 thing. Listen, you could put Jabari out there. You could put whoever out there at this point. I know that they have to figure that out in Rockets land because there are still some question marks with the roster, and there's still some moves that can be made. But you could throw some Jabari. I don't care if you throw Tari. I don't. Shit, you could do 2 small guards with Reed Shepherd.
Are you not worried about like timelines mismatching in this instance? Because as a Celtics fan, I've seen it firsthand when Kyrie and Hayward were on the team, but Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were starting to figure things out. But like they needed Tatum and Brown to be players that they just weren't at that time, and it fucked us over. I think the Thunder, again, they're 1 win away from a championship, but even in these playoffs, there are times where like SGA right now is good to go, but I'm looking at J-Dub, and again, J-Dub has proven me wrong, but there have been games where, they needed more from J-Dub. They needed, more specifically, Chet. Like, they need Chet to step up. And I think, like, Chet 3, 4, 5 years from now, it won't be a problem. But because of this really being the second year in the league, he's just not ready for some of these moments. Is that not a concern for you with this team? Like, KD's good to go now. KD's KD, top 10 player in the league, all of that. But once we get into the playoffs, and now we're asking a lot from Amen, now we're asking a lot from Sengun, and they're not ready to deliver, is that not a concern for you?
If I didn't think that this team could win a championship next year, then no. And I feel like they're trying to get that. They're just trying to swing one time, They're trying to swing for the fences one time. I think that it's possible that it could be done. They just need one good and healthy run, and I could see them sneaking into, the NBA playoffs and then ultimately winning the whole thing. But even if it doesn't pan out, or whatever the case may be, and they're not on different timelines, so at some point you got to get your guys real deal experience. You got to really see if these guys are going to be actual long-term guys that can make it to a finals and win us championships, or are we just going to be potentially playoff contenders with these guys, good regular seasons with these guys, and then ultimately fizzle out at some point, or whatever the case may be. I think that KD puts them up into such a good regard that ultimately it's going to get them to expose more and reveal more about themselves, whether it be the championship or whether we figure out, hey, you're just not going to be the guy. So I'm not too concerned about it being different timelines. Let's say KD has one more year, maybe 2 more years. This ultimately brings their offense into like a top 10 level offense, which, I mean, they're already at 13, and they maintain like a top 10 defense. That's good enough to win a championship. But more importantly, that's good enough to get these guys exposure and practice, and just experience in high level, real winning basketball games, basketball scenarios, all things healthy.
No, I agree. Sometimes you got to put, the young guys through the fire. I think even with the Celtics case, and I understand I brought it up as a concern, I think those years were necessary for JT and JB to become the players that they ultimately became. And not to make this about the Celtics, I think even if this, 2 years from now, they don't win a ring with KD, if this means 2 years of deep playoff runs where Amen and Sengun really get put to the test, and that's a part of their journey. That's a part of the process. So,
because then we could really figure out. Because again, like I said, they still got a roster. If you just look at their roster, let's look at their roster real quick. They've got a roster of some of like the youngest guys in the world. Rookie. The only person, God, 6, 7, well, and gone. But so we would have Aaron Holiday, 6 years, Steven Adams, 10 years, Jeff Green, 16 years. And then we'll slide KD in there. You got 4 guys, and I'm talking about just last year, 4 guys with about like 4 or 5 years of experience on this team. Everybody else is really, really young. And I do think that, I mean, again, we're going to figure out if last year was an overperform, if some of these people are really real, if some of these people can play, if some of these people can be traded. We're going to find out a lot about these young guys. And I think they've performed well enough to where you can just stress test it. So let's get an adult in the room, Kevin Durant, and let's see if we can maintain that level of performance, to see who is really real going into the long term. I think we should see more Reed Shepherd, see if he's going to really be a situation for the future, more Cam Whitmore, see if he's going to be a situation in the future. We're going to make a decision between Jabari and Tari. We're going to really see, because now we have to play more winning and meaningful basketball. We're going to get a lot of questions answered about this roster, and then ultimately make decisions. But I think that roster is good enough to at least put them in the conversation of competing for the West, and coming out and competing for the whole thing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put your theory to the test. Let me name some teams, and you tell me if this new look Rockets team is gonna be better than these teams. Okay.
Yeah. No, let me stop.
Let me set up the short. Which teams are the Rockets gonna be better than next year after the KD trade? Okay. Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh. Definitively can't say. That's the only thing I can say. Definitively, I cannot say.
Okay. Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Denver Nuggets.
Absolutely.
That was a slow absolutely. But okay. Okay. The Clippers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, definitely. As currently constructed, absolutely.
Okay. Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. The Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie coming back. Well,
no. Maybe. Now they got some new medicine out there. That is a really good competition. I cannot definitively say no. Everybody healthy. Everybody healthy, I cannot say yes.
Okay. And the last one that really, because the Suns, no. The Kings, no. Pelicans, no. Blazers, no. Jazz, no. Wild card, leap team next year, San Antonio Spurs.
I'm still gonna say absolutely. We haven't seen the full Fox Wemby experience throughout a year of like development and being together and everything like that. Now, I will say this. A lot of these teams do have some movement to go around and do in this offseason, but everything that you just said, I think that there's only 2 teams that give me any sort of pause.
Okay. Well, speaking on the Spurs, I know they were the other team involved in these KD rumors. Like a lot of people were thinking KD's going to go to the Rockets or the Spurs. Now that the dust is settled and it's the Rockets that won and the Spurs didn't pull the trigger on KD, do you feel like in hindsight they should have pulled the trigger on KD?
Let's be clear. I think that, I mean, the answer is no. I think that the Suns were asking a lot from a lot of teams, and those reports about trade packages not being, very high for Kevin Durant ultimately came true, and that's why he ended up going where he went for what he went. I saw a report from Underdog. This report's just flying. Shams, Heat wouldn't include Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, Haywood Highsmith, number 20 pick, or other draft assets and deal for Kevin Durant. Now, some people probably say that you probably should pull that deal for Kevin Durant. The other packages from the Spurs on that side were also pretty extensive. Pause. But I don't think that you give up the whole kit and caboodle for a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. We talked about it a little bit on last pod, but what some of these teams were asking for, some of the prices for Desmond Bane or Rudy Gobert or whoever else, you can't give that up for this age of Kevin Durant, especially not having like a full guaranteed conversation with him. You just don't. And without knowing that, like, yo, I am now in contention. I don't think Kevin Durant on any other team puts them in any sort of real contention. Do you?
De'Aaron Fox, KD, and Wemby move me. I don't know about you.
Move you to what, though? But move you to what?
Well, maybe I just haven't had the full scope of their full roster post KD trade if it went down, but the same arguments you're making for the Rockets right now. It would be OKC, healthy Dallas, San Antonio with KD. I don't know. I don't know.
Nah.
Also, is that the Heat giving up the farm for KD that trade?
Well, I'll say this. I think especially like their younger assets. I don't think any of those younger assets are like superstar level, but they would at least like to see, because they have a weird way of building a roster. That is exactly the way that they would build a roster. And to them, that would be the farm. Like those 3 dudes would be the farm. Let me and ultimately I don't know, what does that look like. Let's look at that first. I'll look at that first just to see what it looks like if they gave up any of those guys.
You're talking about the Heat or the Spurs?
Yeah, the Heat first, because we know what they were giving up. So you would still have Bam. Actually, let's go to their roster going to like points per game or something like that. You still have Hero. You still have Wiggins. You still have Bam. You still have Duncan, Terry Rozier, Davion Mitchell, Kelly Ware. Like, if you slide KD on this team, what does this team do? Like, are we saying that this team is now in contention for like the East compared to any of these other teams? Do you think that they're better than the Pacers or the Celtics or the Knicks?
Well, the Celtics next year is a bye year. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Even without Jason Tatum, I don't think if they added Kevin Durant to this Heat team, they will be better than the Boston Celtics led by Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I mean,
ooh. Okay. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know what you think a Jaylen Brown led offense is going to look like, but okay. I mean, I think if you're the Heat and you can get KD without giving up Bam, Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, and there was another person I was thinking of, but really just those three. I think you are in reason to pull the trigger on KD.
I don't think I see it that. I'm telling you. All right, let's say this because all right, Celtics. Do you think that team is better than the Knicks?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you already lost me. You already lost me. You already lost me.
My thing for the Heat is like I don't think they've really tried their full like gas pedal effort on the Bam Hero era. And I understand it's only been a year, but this could be the move to really like give like same reason for you with the Rockets. This could be the real test on like if Bam, Hero, and that's the core of this team that can win the championship.
I just don't, man. I don't see them being better than. Got to figure out what the Bucks are doing. I don't see them being better than the Pacers. I don't see them being better than the Cavs. I'll tell you what. I don't make that trade unless I see myself being at least a top 4 team in that conference, and top 4 is really a stretch. I don't see myself being being better than the Cavs, and actually that's my baseline. I don't make that trade if I don't see myself being a top 4 player or top 4 team in that conference. Are we better than the Cavs? No. Are we better than the Pacers? No. Are we better than the new look Magic? No.
Is that just for the East or for any team?
For the East. Oh, I think that's for any team. I think that's for any team. If you're on the East or the West, and we're talking about a trade where I'm taking on a 37-year-old, and I'm also leveraging a big portion of my future assets for this.
Mm-hmm.
Does this make me a top 4 team in that conference? Is that
so why wouldn't because really my point was the Spurs. Why doesn't that make sense?
And I was gonna go there after I did the East. So Pacers, Cavs, no. Magic, and then Pacers or Knicks, probably not. Right? I don't even know if that makes me better than the Sixers. On the other side of things, let's say he went to the Spurs. Don't know what the package is. We could guesstimate, but don't know what the package is. Does that make me better than the Thunder? No. Does that make me better than the Nuggets? I don't think so. Does that make me better than the Timberwolves even? I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Does that make me better than the Thunder? No. I did the Thunder twice.
I just need to get a better sense of the role players around De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, and KD. That sounds like a crazy trio to me. I ain't gonna lie. And again, if the logic for the Rockets is okay, even if you don't come out the next 2 years with a ring, at least you put Ahmed and Sengun to the test. I don't know why you can't say the same for the Spurs with De'Aaron Fox and Wemby. Put them through the test. Make them better players. Put them through the fire.
But I do still want to say, like, well, I guess what I'm saying is I see a conference finals being the worst case scenario with the Rockets. I see, I mean, what, a playoff appearance being the worst case scenario. I don't even know. Yeah, a playoff appearance being the worst case scenario for the Spurs. And I just don't want to bank on like a first round playoff appearance. It's like, oh yeah, we finally got the experience. Now we're not going to have a draft pick for the next X, Y, and Z years, but it is what it is.
Conference finals is the worst case scenario for the Rockets.
If they don't make the conference finals, they do not make the conference finals, I know we're jumping again. If they do not make the conference finals, then this is a failed move.
Okay.
I got that stamped. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen how the West works. Houston could easily end the season as the 3 seed, match up with the wrong 4 seed, or I don't know how it works out. Wrong 2 seed, and they're bounced out in the second round. Easily see that happening, and can have one of those series. You doing this again? And yeah, KD experiment over. What team does he go to next? I don't.
And if that happens, yeah, I can go ahead and see that that's a failed situation. I want to go back to the Suns real quick before we get into some of the last parts about this. I just want it to be known: no trade Bradley Beal, no trade clause Bradley Beal. 30-year-old Devin Booker, Jalen Green, who a lot of people feel like is just not. He is not your future, not your guy. Let's say that they want to be loyal to Devin Booker. What else can be done here?
I don't know. What else can be done around D-Book? We are literally talking about a conference. We're adding KD. Maybe put you at 2 or 3 with the best case of a conference finals. Like that's the conference that we're talking about. The amount of pieces they would need to add to D-Book to make it work in the next 2 to 3 years. Because by the end of the next 2 to 3 years, D-Book is going to be 30, 31.
Mm-hmm.
It's cooked, bro. It's cooked. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. D-Book era is over. Should be, at least.
Yeah. Just wanted to confirm. All right. Outside of the Rockets, outside of whoever you think, just off the initial, because I think that's very surface level. Biggest winners from this trade, biggest losers from this trade. Want to start with the biggest losers from this trade. Who do you have? Just give me 2 biggest losers from this trade.
Biggest losers, the Phoenix Suns, just because I feel like it really it just defined the era. Like it's you tried and you failed. All right, it's time to move on. And I understand he's on the same team. D-Book, brother. You have wasted a lot of prime years playing on that team for nothing. And it looks like you might wait a little bit longer. But if that's cheating, if the Spurs don't land Giannis, yeah, I don't know if them passing up on KD was the big brain play that they thought it was.
I think y'all are much faster on Wemby's timeline than I am. I think that's also part of the conversation.
Didn't we have this discussion last year and you specifically were like, let's try to win now?
No, I wasn't let's try to win now. I said we can't. I did say we can't be playing around with Keldon Johnson at the point guard. I did say that. We don't have to win now, but let's not play around with Keldon Johnson. I think the main thing is we have to impress, but impress doesn't also mean like we have to leverage the entirety of the future to get that done. You know what's crazy? The Spurs should really be knocking on the Suns' door to see what's really going on. Maybe this year, next year. I think the Spurs. Ultimately, I think the Suns waited too long. They should have gotten rid of KD.
That is interesting. I mean, D-Book on the Spurs might make more sense than KD on the Spurs.
Yeah, let's just knock on the door. Yeah. Especially, hey, look, it's y'all blowing it up anyway. It's buy low. It's buy low time now anyway. Look, y'all already got a lot of draft picks. Let's just give you 1 or 2 more draft picks. Put you around this guy, whatever the case may be. Go ahead and bring us D-Book. Let's have D-Fox and Wemby with D-Book, and then we'll figure out the rest of the roster later. I am going to say my biggest loser from this is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Biggest loser from this is the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think I can confidently say that without a shadow of a doubt. Because I think that they really, 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 really expected to be able to do something with that forward position. You know, they wanted to bring in Ant-Man's guy, get a little bit more help on the offensive side of things. I thought Julius Randle actually played very well, but maybe they thought they could kind of bring KD in, sell high on Randle, or, you know, do a lot of other different things there and just kind of have that person fill that need. Now they are about to be faced with some really, 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 really tough conversations in regards to that 4 spot. You know, what are we doing with some of these guys here? What are we doing? So I think that they are one of my big losers. Another big loser, Miami Heat. Gotta go with the Miami Heat. Gotta go with the Miami Heat. If you specifically a Miami Heat fan, if you are a Miami Heat fan, you've got to be punching and screaming, especially to hear that Pat Riley again would not let it go.
Yeah.
He just again will not let go of whatever the hell he is believing to be some sort of ragtag bunch of guys to come through and build the championship team. That's not happening.
But I thought you said they shouldn't trade for KD. I'm confused.
Oh, I just mean the fans. I know what I don't think they should have from his perspective.
Okay.
Now, the fans are waiting for him to do anything, Bezos. They want him to do whatever. They don't give a damn if they trade a 2032 pick for a 2032 pick. They just want Pat Riley to do something. They want him to do something.
Sleeper loser and all of this. I just can't help but to think, man. I don't know if you've been seeing the rumors with KD, but apparently during the trade deadline, he specifically wanted to go to the Celtics. I was hearing those same rumors at the exact same time back then from personal sources.
What were y'all gonna do with KD for
back
1 year?
Back to back. That's what we were gonna do. That's what we were gonna do.
Yo, what are you talking?
What do you mean what I'm talking? Yeah.
Okay, biggest winners, and we can get the cheat answer out the way. Of course, the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets, one of the biggest winners, right? We can say that the biggest winner, really.
Yeah,
the biggest winner. Oh, my bad. Another biggest loser. Dre and Michelle. I think being in Houston is better than being in Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm. Houston really up right now, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Houston is kind of up right now.
DreamCon, Funny Mike Streamer Prom, and now this.
Louisiana Fried Chicken. I don't know. Houston, just all they had to do was just change the color a little bit, just change the warmth.
Yeah, Funny Mike gonna be at the games now. Yeah,
live.
Hey,
live streaming. You know, biggest winners. Houston, for a couple reasons. They finally got rid of Dylan Brooks. They finally got rid of the dream of Jalen Green.
Yeah,
I think one of the hardest things to have on an NBA team as like a fan is a flashy player. I know. What are you laughing about?
Someone said something crazy in the YouTube chat.
What is it? I don't even have it open. Let me see.
That's crazy.
Let me see if I can read it.
You cannot read it.
All right. I didn't even can't read that one. All right.
Oh hell.
Okay, so got rid of the dilly bar. Got rid of the dilly bar. Got to upgrade there. And got rid of Jalen Green. I think most people don't realize what's going on. The curse of having a flashy basketball player on your team or a young guy who shows flashes has to be the worst curse in league history. Because complaining to any other fan base sounds like you're complaining as like a rich man. Rich people complain, oh my God, and gas is high. And it's like, oh, well, nah, you make $100,000 a year and da-da-da-da-da. That does not mean gas isn't high, okay? You can still complain that gas is high. Yeah, somebody said it. Cam Reddish, Trae Young. They always have one nationally televised game, but then the other games where they play like the Hornets, they play like shit, and you're trying to convince people.
You think Trae Young is in this category? God damn.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
My God.
Let me get my Trae Young hate off. All right, you gotta find a way every single basketball. No, I do think Trae. I think because oh god,
got him riled up. No, because that's crazy. We talk about Jalen Green, and then you get it off on Trae Young.
Yes, Trae Young is in this conversation because he is the definition of everybody wants him in the trade packages, and then like I'm trying to tell y'all don't want him because he is not like what you think he is, but everybody feels if he would Trae Young on the Spurs, Trae Young on the Lakers, Trae Young on the Sixers. He'll tip the scale. He'll tip the scale. No, he won't. No, you watched him the one time where he shimmy shaked on the Celtics logo that one game, right? He had that one step back on Jaylen Brown. Did you watch the rest of the series? No. He was boxed 2 years in a row. God, yeah. Oh, he nutmegged Trevor Ariza. Who cares? Oh my God. So Jalen Green is good for one Michael Jordan's 90 layup a month.
That dunk on Cade was nasty.
Oh, he shot 26% that game. He literally shot them out the game.
He be giving people false hope. That's the problem with Jalen Green. That 1 month he played like Kobe, and they won like 15 straight. You couldn't say shit about Jalen Green.
God, one day we do have to do a list of flashy players that give the league hope, or that the league perceives as dangerous, but hometown fans know is not good. We'll do that list at another time. But so yeah, Houston Rockets are my winner for that two reasons, and I really do think that they're title contenders in that conversation. Oh, and Giannis. Giannis is Giannis is a winner. KD could have really clogged up his routes to different teams, the two teams he wanted to, because I do think teams, people are looking at like the Knicks and people are looking at the Spurs as like golden spot landing destinations, and Kevin Durant could have really messed that up. So Giannis would have, Giannis is happy that he didn't clog that up for them.
Yeah, clear path for him now.
You got any other winners?
No, that's about it. It's really just the Rockets.
Last loser, Philadelphia 76ers. No real reason. They're just
always losing.
They're just always losers in this conversation.
Oh, if we're on this type of time, man, the Kings. Especially with Game 7 today.
I wanted to hold that until after Game 7. God. Y'all
Sabonis? Oh my God. We gotta revisit our fucking clips from that era, bro. Because I was really trying to be nice. Oh, but like the beam. Oh my God, bro. You just know when teams form and it's like, okay, y'all are cool. Y'all are cool. That's it, though.